I'm going to cut straight to the chase, all right? So pretty much if any of you have clicked on this video, you realize that you have those days where you physically just don't really have much to do in your business. For example, with me, I'm waiting for samples to go back and forth at the moment, and there's actually just not much I can do directly on the business that I haven't done already. That would pretty much just be mentally masturbating the fact that you're starting a business. You know what I mean? I've already got the website set up and there's only so much I can do until I actually have a physical product in my hand. And also there's no point really starting Facebook ads because obviously I don't have a product yet. So everything I could possibly do in terms of planning on that side of things is taken care of. So the reason for saying this is your business model at the moment is probably very similar in the sense that if you're starting a brand, or even if you're doing stuff like drop shipping, SMMA, stuff like that, one would say that there are moments where you can only do so much work. And so then you wonder, how can I actually spend my time, or what can I actually do to maximize my time to make sure that I'm not wasting it and I'm actually making improvements and progressing in terms of self-improvement or whatever your goals are, without actually letting my business perish. Now, here's one thing that you've probably already heard. People always say that you're your most important asset in the business, which is true. I'm not going to sit here and just give, quotes and quotes on quotes, because it's not going to stick in. You need it to apply to you. You could sit there and memorize 1,000 quotes, but if you don't take action or actually relate them back to your situation, they're useless and you're just, again, mentally masturbating. So what's the point of me recording this? So basically, as I said, at the moment, there's not much I can do on my business because I'm just waiting for the other end of manufacturing to put together the samples after sending reviews back. So when actually working on your business, you can also look within and actually start working on yourself. So I don't want to come across as if like I'm taking everyone that's watching this and saying there's a problem with you, because I don't mean it like that. But everyone's got areas they can work on. You can read a bit more. If you don't like reading, it's probably a pretty valuable asset to have. I used to hate reading and now we've got all these books here, and that's not a flex. It's just the fact that you can't always rely on Google searching. Sometimes your brain needs to have information given to it in different ways. Now, one would argue, and I would also take this mindset shift on as well, you can just harden the fuck up, you can harden the fuck up, I'm going to say it again, and actually just do the work that you need to do, regardless of whether you've been sitting there Google searching for hours. If that's how you're going to get your information and that's how you're going to research and improve the topics or the skill sets that you want, that's what you need to do. But sometimes if you can get credible sources from YouTube, you can get them from website articles, and sometimes you can get them from books. So books are even a good way just to get knowledge from people who actually aren't here to talk to anymore. So a lot of the books up here are Stoicism books, and so basically just getting the insights of people who aren't actually alive anymore. Now, one could argue you could go on YouTube and get someone secondhand resource of just retelling the book summary, but it's always good to actually get it yourself. I've just got a bit closer here so you can see, but you see these little notepads and little footnotes here. The reason I do that is simply because if something stands out to me, I'll highlight it and then actually note it down. And so then that way, not only I'll record it once, I'll highlight it, I'll read over it a couple times, and then I'll also actually footnote it so I can go back to it as well. So the more repetition that you actually have involving yourself with this one piece of phrase or paragraph that stands out to you, you're actually going to be able to put it in your mind. Now, the next step for that is actually being able to take that and then molding it into your situation and how it relates to you. Because then that's when your newly developed thought or newly developed mindset shift actually becomes concrete. Because as I said, you can memorize as many quotes as you want, but if you don't link them back to your experiences and your lifestyle, they're not going to stick and they're not going to be valuable for you. And that shows that you're just not improving, because there's no point absorbing knowledge that just goes back out the other end. You know what I mean? So in saying that, that's one way you could simply pass your time, but then also you can just start researching other areas of your life. For example, if you're looking to actually get the full rounded, balanced image of self-improvement, you can start to fine tune your diet, or you can start to work on your diet if you haven't actually been proactive with that yet. You can start maybe altering your workout plan, or maybe writing a new one if you're a beginner. You can start reflecting on maybe your goals, or you can even just start writing thoughts down. If journaling is something that you've been on the fence about, I'd recommend just finding your own unique way to get your thoughts on paper. Because one of the things I found is I never subscribed to the journaling side of things, just purely because I thought it was a bit of, I guess, mental masturbation. I'll have to use that term again. It's probably the third time I've used it in this video, but I'll use it again because it can be a form I used to think of just wasting time and feeling like you're being proactive in self-improvement, when really all you're doing is just voicing and growing the thoughts in your head that you're just leaving there on paper. But the way I see it now is that if I have any insightful points in conversation, if I ever give any pieces of advice that I think are actually too good to let forget, and that's not an ego boost, it's just sometimes we give advice that we should take ourselves. And so that's something I need to take on board, because if I give good advice and I realize it's good advice that I haven't taken, I should write it down so then I can read back on it. And also on top of that, it's always good to keep for future reference to go back as well. And on top of that, quotes you read as well, just entries and reflections on the day. So my reasoning for actually incorporating journaling now is because it saves the idea of having these thoughts built up in your head. We have heaps of thoughts every day, and obviously at the moment there's not much I actually have to do for my business, but when it gets to a point where the business is much bigger, you need that mental space to be able to fit in processes and energy into actually working through business related problems, the highest leverage problems. And so that's stuff that's going to get you more leads, stuff that's going to get you more revenue, more reoccurring revenue, also fluctuating your profit margins, all that kind of stuff. Those are the problems that are going to move the needle forward for you to actually get more money. And so obviously money is not the be all and end all of business, but that's obviously why we start businesses, because it's a money machine, and all we do is try and mix and match what parts we can replace or improve in our businesses to eventually spit out more cash. That's just not being materialistic, but that's just, the objective cause for majority of business owners. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that journaling isn't something that you should just brush over and just think it's for those who like to sit in the garden and write poetry. If even you think poetry is a bad thing, me personally, I don't think it's a bad thing, but it's just stereotypes. We're using stereotypes because obviously some people watching this might not all be there yet. So I'm just trying to relate to you guys, or relate to anyone who might not have overcome the mindset shifts of the stuff like journaling, or you're writing down your thoughts, or getting your thoughts or emotions out on paper is a bad thing, because sometimes it's not. It's better to put it on paper and close the book and forget about it than lash out at your loved ones or embarrass yourself just because you haven't been able to handle your emotions well. So that's always a good way to work on yourself when those problems arise in your business, I guess. Another one would be to be able to get your name out there. And I don't mean that as put yourself on a billboard and go like this. I mean that if you want to be social and meet new people, that's completely fine. If you have a girlfriend, you can maybe spend some more time with them. Family is always a good one for me. It's my family, my close inner circle of friends, and God. They're important things for me in terms of socializing or being present with other beings or people. And so with that can come maybe finding new people. So for example, I know that when I was starting off in this journey, there was a bit of a lonely period, which some people in podcasts that I've watched have talked about, where it's the lonely entrepreneurs period, where you're too far along where you can't resemble with your old group, and then you're not quite where you want to go, where you haven't found your new group yet. So you're in this gray period where you're not too sure how you're feeling or if you can fully connect with the people around you. So one thing to do is actually try and find people that you can actually, I guess, resonate with or link with. And so that's why I also make these videos, so then if anyone watches them who's got the same mindset or the same wavelength, you can always reach out, and then it's always a good opportunity to network and meet people who are on the same path. But of course, sometimes we can't just go out and meet people next door or down the street, because it's not like that anymore. You can always find communities on school, if that's a platform that people are still using in 5 years' time, if you're watching this video, or you can just use social media and try and just find like-minded people, and just don't be afraid to reach out, because it's literally the same mentality people have as talking to girls, where you just can't reach out to strangers anymore. People think it's weird, but at the end of the day, it's all a relatively unique perspective on how people view your actions. Because at the end of the day, one person might look at you and cold DM someone and think, oh, why would you do that? You know, that's weird. You know, only weird people just randomly message other people. Or some people could see you as proactive in actually trying to improve your situation. So it's all perspective, and at the end of the day, you only want to get the opinions or absorb the opinions of people who, again, you value, and obviously people who align with your vision. So I guess just to sum up, this has been a bit more of a random video, but it's important that I wanted to get out that you don't always have to actually actively be working on your business to improve your business. So if you feel like you're short for tasks with your business, like for example, like I said at the start, for me, samples are being done, not much I can do, or maybe you're waiting for something to be fulfilled in terms of your manufacturing side, or maybe you're still trying to overcome a big learning curve with your business and it's taking a lot of time. These are just some simple ways that you can actually maximize your time to be able to still leverage your improvement. So then when you actually have problems on your business, you're already a better and more highly sharpened individual for your business. You're more of a refined and improved asset when your business actually calls on your skill set and your mindset to be needed. So just stuff like reading, socializing and networking with the right people, and obviously being able to research into other topics which are going to improve overall areas of you as a man, like diet, sleep, exercise, these kind of things. But they're just basic things that I wanted to just touch on, because everyone's at different levels of their journey. And of course, that might be more of a simple version for people who are already well ahead. But if you do take even one thing from this video, I'm happy. If you take none, well, I hope that you at least stick around for the next few videos of the journey, and maybe you'll take something from them. So that's all from me now, but we'll see you in the next few videos and a bit more of an update on the sample situation. Ciao.